Hey, what it do, y'all? uh, whew, man, how's everyone doing, man? Happy Hump Day, happy Wednesday, dude. I've been getting my butt kicked. I'm ramping up at work. Whew, gotta love it, gotta love it. Feeling that good stress. That we in it now. How's everyone doing, man? Uh, mm. There are a few times I'm ever stressed at a job. Very few. Early on in my career, a little bit. Nowadays, it's whenever I start a new job and do like the first couple tickets. Bro. Bro. It's got nothing to do with my current place or anything like that. Like everyone's great, everyone's nice. I love it. Honestly, I got nothing but good things to say. But like, yo, it's I'm having a blast. Oh man, what's going on, guys? I just got done filming a little Angular tutorial for y'all, for the YouTubes. Um, so, oh man, it's been a good week, man. I'm so I got a groomer over here to do my dogs. Oh yeah, we're supposed to talk about keeping the passion alive. That's not. I'm not talking about your talking about your talking about encoding, right? This is something that's really important. I got distracted for a second. I've only been off work for like 40 minutes, so my brain's a little fried. Wednesday and Thursday are like the days of the week where my brain is like, we're making it. Just give it another. We just need another 8 to 16 hours out of you, brain. Yeah, man. But one thing I think a lot of us suffer with, myself included, is how to keep the passion alive in your. I'm just looking at something in my. I'm trying to build my product, and for some reason, my project. For some reason, it just failed. Over here, aside from my thing. So there's got to be some sort of infinite loop in my code here. All right, I'll have to look at that. My CSS file's throwing off the bundle budget, which means that there's something's not working right. But I think a lot of us expect passion to just come and stay. Like I don't think people realize that passion is something that has to be curated. Passion is something that has to be groomed. Passion is something that has to be carefully sculpted. Most people don't just have raw passion. If they do, it's hard to keep it. That's why so much I've harped so much about, if you're trying to teach yourself how to code, you have to keep it fun, because passion's fun, or at least it's supposed to be. Not everything you build has to make money. Not everything you do has to have an end game. There are things I do that have no value to me, really. Generally, for me, I try to do things that have some sort of financial return or career return, because that's fun to me. And if I could do something fun and I could get a return of sorts, then I go and do that. But that's not everything. Every year I re-sign up again and again to code.org so that I can go talk to, elementary kids or middle school kids about STEM. That doesn't really do anything for me. maybe at one time you could say it was a resume builder, but where am I building my resume with that nowadays, right? Like we made it, y'all. Like life is good. Like, you know, um, I, the years of experience for the most part is where my resume is going to be built and where I work at this point in time in my career, unless I really just launch something. Like all these things I do are great and they're fun, but like, and they build my resume without a doubt. But like that sort of like, self starter, e-learner, giving back to the dev community. Like I feel like on paper we can say, okay, check. Like the check mark's there, right? But I do think sometimes because I want to, it keeps me passionate about supporting the next generation or the next generation. It keeps me passionate about software. And, especially when you like work at home with nothing but the kids, it's nice to go out and see some real kids and, someone who can ask questions and give back and things like that. But you have to figure out how to keep it fun. And you can't ever assume that it's always going to be there. So why it's fun and why it's joyous and why you have the time, you have to make the most of it because passion will leave you very quickly, right? I read this in a book, one of my relationship books, and I think it's very relevant to passion. And this is about relationships. And it said that in your life, you'll have 4 or 5 great loves in your lifetime. And if you're lucky, it'll be with the same person. And what I took that to mean in the book was that, love and relationships are something that take work, they take compassion, and they take, there's going to be ups and downs, but that doesn't mean that you can't re-fall in love. And the same thing goes for passion with software engineering. There's no reason why that, if you set this unrealistic expectation that you're always going to love software, then you may very well set yourself up for failure. But if you set yourself up to understand that it takes work and effort and energy to keep things fun, and that even when it's not, you work towards getting back to a point where you start enjoying it like you used to, start loving it like you used to, then hopefully you'll re-fall back in love with it. So, have I ever lost my passion at any point in my career? When April left me, it was a really dark time for me. And I lost my passion for pretty much everything. So, um, that would be when it's there. I would say, it's I like progression. I like to progress. In the past, historically, I've found it that working outside of work has been more mentally satisfying in progression. Now, as I'm working and I'm being challenged at being very challenged at my new role. Not that like it's high stress or anything. It's definitely not. They're slowly breaking me in, but they're slowly breaking me in because I can see the complexity and I can see the challenges and the fun that's going to happen and the growth that's going to happen to me, which is like equally as exciting. Excuse me. So I personally need to be pushed more than the average individual historically. So by the time my workplace is ready to promote me or move me, I've probably already said historically at previous employers, I've probably already said like I've worked hard enough and I go get that promotion for someone who sees it. Like I don't wait around for people to value me. I've always been of the mentality of like, yo, if my employer treats me better than everybody else and will do me better than everybody else, fantastic. Like, great. Like, I'm at the right employer. But if somebody values me more, then that's where the passion starts to drain out a little bit from my career. And what I mean. So like when I start getting offers that are higher than my current role, that would be something that, like, significantly higher, that'd be something that would upset me because that means that, like, I'm worth more than what I thought I was or what my employer thinks I am. When I start getting roles that are for organizations and like like the next promotion tier above, and the conversation of promoting me hasn't taken place yet, that would probably drain me from my career a little bit. So it's happened. But mainly it's the external things that, you know, that really impact me. If I'm not happy at home, I'm not happy at work. And if I'm not happy at work, I'm not happy at home. So I always really try to have a healthy balance. And I think a lot of us need to do that, right? These things all play together. Same thing with my personal life. I really I really like having a partner in life and like having someone to spend time with and do things with. And like I've been dating somebody for about a month now. It's been going great. And it's just a nice thing to be like, what am I going to do on my day off? Oh, I'm going to go do something with, so and so. Not that I don't want to say her name, but I don't want her business out there. So, but it's just one of those things for me. And that has a positive impact on me. So if I'm passionate out, that's why, like, right now, I'm actually I'm coding a lot again because I really I've always enjoyed it, but I'm doing it more so. And, I've talked to you guys a little bit about having a bit of a mental breakdown earlier in the year. And, it's so funny, man. I've never joked so casually with somebody like, yeah, I had a mental breakdown earlier this year. Fantastic. Like it's a strange thing. But honesty and transparency above all things. So, you know, for me, I think there's been times in my career where, and mind you, I've only been working as a software engineer for 4.5 years. So to have times in the first 4.5 years that you've been there, we're not talking about a huge, like, I'm not a decade or 2 decades into my career talking about I've lost the passion, but you know, earlier this year when I had a rough time, and when a previous workplace I worked in that got kind of toxic that I eventually left, you know, these things happen and it's okay. The point is that to go and get your passion back. That's all. If you need to take a week off, take a week off. I didn't do anything for 3 months this year. That's a long time for me. That's a very long time because I don't have any other hobbies. I love this stuff. Um, but sometimes it's not good for me. Every couple of years I gotta take a little, like, I gotta ghost. Um, but you know, so it's just one of those things, man, where if you want to have the passion, you gotta work for it. And if you lose it, that's okay. You can get it back. But you gotta put the time in. Isn't it easier to teach someone technical skills than soft skills? I think we think it is, but I think it's also because, like, when was the last time you tried to learn soft skills? Like, truly, when was the last time you said, "Hey, I'm gonna go learn public speaking," or "Hey, I'm gonna go learn on how to be a mentor," or "Hey, I'm gonna go learn and how to," the point is we don't practice them and we don't even try. It's just one of those things that we think, like any other skill, is just something or any, for whatever reason, we say, hey, I can learn JavaScript, technical skill. But the idea that you can learn public speaking if you were to put the same amount of time into something like that is an absurd notion. It's really not. Yeah, so today I actually got the dogs groomed. I had someone come to the house. Boise got groomed. And I don't know, can you see this like red mark on my lip? Gator wasn't having it and growling, and I went out there for like 10 minutes to try and calm him down. And he headbutted me because he was so nervous, and so he couldn't get groomed. So I got to comb him later. They were dog shaming me because they had matted hair in the back of their butt area, and I felt bad. But I gotta comb him more. I've let that slide this year. Uh, what about when new devs get hired on making more? Can you elaborate? I'm not quite sure. I get this sense as new developers and money, but maybe elaborate a little bit. Michael Toth, what are your thoughts on online degrees? Do you know any that are reputable? My thoughts about online degrees are pretty much my thoughts about same about college degrees in general. Is that it's really just a piece of paper, and it's one of the items where it shows that you can complete a task, and you might pick up some things along the way. But generally speaking, it's it's hard really not to be biased against college, because college was one of the things that made me wasted years of my life, and it has added to my success very little, if any. And so, like, my stance on it is that if you get a degree in something relevant, great. Um, if you are expecting college to get you to the finish line and progress your career, um, then I wouldn't recommend that. Yeah, I got a lot of hate on my review of WGU. So, for those of you who don't know, I went back to school to Western Governors University. I paid for it out of pocket at the time, and I knocked out 3 courses. I was in my 4th one, and the 4th one was so ungodly depressing. It was talking about HTML4 and GUI editors. It was just it was so outdated that it broke me. It absolutely broke me to where I was like, "What am I doing?" Like I'm not kidding. I'd finished 3 courses in a month, and I was starting my 4th, and I had already got 2 certifications, and I sat there and it broke me, and I said, what am I going back to school for? Like, why am I going to go waste 9 more months? Why am I going to do it? Why why am I doing, like, why am I torturing myself when this is what I'm not going to learn anything. I'm quite literally doing exactly what I said a degree is going to get me in my life. A piece of paper that says I have a degree, and it's going to cost me $10,000, and I'm not going to learn anything. If I took that same time and energy, I could probably, here's the thing, if I took 10 months out of the year and dedicated myself to the amount of time I would dedicate to go get this degree, I could probably generate passive income of $5,000 to $10,000 a year. I mean, truly, if I spent 10 months trying to build up passive income, I probably could. And so I don't know, man. It broke me though. That HTML4 and the GUI editors. Oh my god. Yeah. I mean, why wouldn't you work as a database? Why don't you want to work as a database guy? Database guys make good money. I don't. What is? Is it true that antidepressants can produce the inability to feel pleasure? Anhedonia. I don't think I'm pronouncing that right. I didn't know that word. But I mean, I don't know. I've known a lot of people on antidepressants. I'm not a medical professional. I can only tell you firsthand. A lot of them say that what antidepressants have done, and I've been on them as a teenager. I didn't like them, so I got off of them. Is that for me? All it did was put me at a state of neutral, and in the best case scenario, that's what happens. So, like, let's say this is happy, this is sad. What happens is you're in constant state of neutral, and that's not very great either. Instead of solving what I don't know, this is going to sound very judgmental. I don't mean it to be. I think a lot of people who are depressed, I think half of people who are on antidepressants, I think there's a very good large portion of people need to be on them because they're chemically imbalanced or they had some horrible stuff happen. But I also think there's a lot of people on antidepressants that with good therapy and better communication and working on fixing the things that are making them miserable, there could be a lot of stuff that happens. So like as you, Paul, have worked through some of your stuff, I imagine you're coming off of your antidepressants. My guess is that you did that. You went through that process. And as somebody who went through a mental health process this year, I could tell you I very seriously thought about going on antidepressants. And I decided against it. But it is something I considered. So I'm not like antidepressants. But I mean, at the end of the day, what you're doing is introducing chemicals in yourself to chemically balance you out. And so it's going to, at least in my experience and when people tell me, that's sort of where they end up. So I would say it's possible. Not a medical professional, not even close. Hey, guys, play nice. I know you think you're hot shit because you got a bandana, but chill. How would I feel about that happening to me where, oh, new devs get hired making more money? Oh, yeah. But, I mean, you can't worry about what other people are making. You just got to go and make the best that you can and go elsewhere. If you can get more money, go elsewhere and progress your career and network. In your opinion, will all the people pushing web dev turn into a minimum wage career? In what world do you think where I'm making damn near $250,000 a year that I'm going to say, yeah, in a couple of years, we're all going to be making a minimum wage? Tell me how that makes sense. Like, truly, this is, you know what this is, man? This is our introverted panic self about the sky is falling. Like the number one jobs that you can graduate today is for like database, machine learning, tech related, software engineering, programming related jobs. And right below that, in the same sort of category, is the I didn't even notice the trickster is here till right now. The next is software engineering. So hey, are you going to, in 2 to 3 years of your life, go from making ridiculous amounts of money, being more in demand than almost any other career, having high salaries, lots of jobs, and great job growth? Three things that are fantastic implementations of, or showcasing based off stats of software engineering. Worried about us all making minimum wage. You know how worried I am? 0%. 0% of that happening in my lifetime. I love Boise's bandana. Thank you. Thank you, love. You're not good in development. Can you go to QA if you want to? Chair on the right looks like a good investment. It's okay. I've had better ones. I would say down the road when I really want to treat myself, I'll get like a real baller one. This one is about $700-800. It's not bad. My first PC game way back in the day when I was 7 or 8. Yeah, man, I remember the good old days. Dude, you know what I thought about the other day, and I thought this was kind of weird. I was in middle school playing Age of Empires, right? Like Age of Empires 1, Age of Empires 2, and like StarCraft. And I was playing with one of my substitute teachers who was in his mid-20s. And I just thought about that the other day, about how weird that is. Because, like, what are you in the 7th grade? In the 7th grade in the US, you're about 12 to 13. Isn't it weird? Like, I just thought about that the other day, about how I was playing. I had one of my substitute teachers' BattleNet accounts playing StarCraft and like Age of Empires with them way back in the day. That's kind of strange, right? Like, I don't know. So something to think about. How did I get passionate about web dev? Well, Truly, I started coding and I really just fell in love with it. Like, that was it. How many more credits do I need to graduate? It's a good question. The truth of the matter is I don't know, but I mean, when do your here's a question. When do college credits expire? Generally speaking, college credits don't expire. Oh, I thought college credits expired. Oh, relevance, recency, accreditation. So, like, how many of those will transfer? How many of those will go? But, like, I don't wanna spend a year, or a year and a half depending on the transfer and where I go, man. I really don't. Like, why am I gonna do I'm happy, man. If I don't ever get promoted again, I don't know that I'd be happy, but I wouldn't be sad. Like, I wouldn't be sad. Like, life is good, man. Um, nice, Paul. See, that's what I'm talking about, man. Go build something. Go build something. Currently a CS major and still sucking at coding. Being a CS major is not going to make you great at coding. It's going to make you understand foundational skills if you study it. Although most people cheat through college. At least that's how they did in my CS program. I've told this story a bunch where in the first programming class, I was the older guy in class, so I didn't really talk to anybody. But these idiots in the top of the top of the homework, you put slash slash assignment name slash slash comment assignment name comment comment your name, and they forgot to remove homeboy's name and saw that they were all cheating. They all cheated, so they all handed in the same assignment and forgot to change his name. Oh my god. And they did it again later that year. He ended up failing out like half the class because of it. What are your views about data science and machine learning? One of the best things that you could do, man. I'd recommend it. I was a younger guy and also didn't talk to anybody. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, man. We just gotta keep moving. How come you're the oldest guy in the class? Dude, I have like over 250 completed credits or something like that. So it's not a Brookstone store massage chair. It's just one off Amazon called Real Relax. I mean, it's worth it, but there's better ones out there. My first one was much better. Um, so I think I have 230 completed credits. It's either 230 245. I'd have to add them up. I don't remember what the WG credits are, but I changed my major a couple times and I didn't really take it seriously. So I, you know, it's one of those things where I had enough credits to get 2 bachelor's degrees and I got 0. So yeah. I'm the most uneducated, college educated man you'll ever meet. Actually, that's not true. There's a buddy of mine's buddy who is doing it. Is been doing it even longer. 2-time college dropout over here. And there is towards the end, there was definitely some semesters I went part time. Yeah, Paul, you don't need to have a commercial project to put something out. You know the only difference between a commercial project and a personal project is people pay and use a commercial project. What keeps me going? You know, I like doing this, man. I really, really do. Um, yeah, Kanye only dropped out once. Sucker. So nice, I did it twice. But yeah. Actually, I have zero regrets about going back to college for a second time because I always had this bit of imposter syndrome and this what if, and the $3,500 I spent, you know, it put all that to bed. Like, imposter syndrome a little bit, but like it put everything. When I went back to school and I did that, and I never. There's been maybe one time where I've ever thought, like before, I was thinking all the time about going back to school. Should I? Is it going to be good for my career? This and that. And once I went back and I quit, it was like a $3,500 check to erase the pain of my soul of not knowing. And I knew once I did it, I was like, oh, okay. So you see, coding entire life seems like no life. Who says I'm coding my entire life? Last night, the Trickster and I watched a movie together. We watched Dune together. We had dinner. Um, you know, going to town this weekend. You? Who says your entire life has to be dedicated to it? Personally, I think you should dedicate the first 5 years of your life to your career, of your working life, 5 to 10 years, and be set the rest of your life. That's just me, though. You don't have to do that. That's what I did, and it worked out pretty well. It's what I would recommend. So, do I think you should be great at math for machine learning? I mean, I think you don't have to be a mathematician, but you have to study math. Yeah. Um, Coding boot camps aren't that expensive. I mean, 10, 15, 20 grand compared to the time, effort, and energy and money of the alternative of. I'm a big fan of coding boot camps. I think they're great to get you jump started, but I also think you have to be aware of. I think you have to be aware of. That's what I'm looking for. I think you have to be aware of that it's just that. It's something to get you jump started, and not the end all be all. Come here, baby girl. Oh, okay. You just went for it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You're so pretty. So pretty and clean. You got that new dog smell. That new dog smell from the groomer, huh? After this, I gotta groom Gator. I won't do as good of a job. Last time I cut some of Gator's hair, it cost me $1,000. You had to get 12 stitches. So we're gonna be a little bit more careful this time. Come here, baby boy. Gator, up here. No, Gator, get up here. Up. Nope. Okay. Okay. Oh, listen. All right, Gator, you want this? Yeah, we're gonna be a little more careful this time. But I mean, what keeps me going is I truly like taking the abstract, and making it concrete. I really do like what I do for a living. I like coding more than anything else. And if I could code 80 hours a week for myself, I would. But instead, I code like 45 for my employer and 35 for myself. And my employers have taken very good care of me. They've given me a great life. You know, everything's said and done. If I'm smart with my money, I can pay off my house. I will have paid off my house in 3 years. That's a fantastic opportunity given to me by employers. I love coding for a living. So it's one of those items where, as much crap as people talk about working for other people, no one says you have to do. It has to be exclusive either way, right? You very much so can work for somebody and do your own stuff on the side, and sort of have the best of both worlds. And if there comes a point in time where you want to go to one world or the other, you can also. So. Do you ever do meet and greets? No. Occasionally, I run into you guys at meetups and at conferences. I'll let you know if I'm going to go speak at a conference. I have a couple of virtual meetups and conferences I'll be speaking at in the near future. Edor, I work part-time as a wedding cinematographer. Can I be able to learn coding alongside? I think you can if you're able to dedicate 2 to 3 hours a day every single day. Every single day. You know. Do I know about spirituality? Is that a framework or like like generally am I nasanya? Like what are we talking about here? As in real devs do degrees, fake one does bootcamp. I mean, you're always going to deal with companies like that. There's always been companies that haven't wanted me because I don't have a degree. But you have to sort of make up for that. I mean, it's a stereotype, yeah. I mean, truth of the matter, FANG companies will hire you without a degree. I got hired at one of the big 4 tax companies without a degree. You can go and do it. It might be, I don't know. I've never understood giving time of mind to things that I have no control over. I do because I'm human, but I try not to. Like I try not to give things that I have no control over time of mind. Like, oh, it's so much harder to get a job without a degree. Yeah, but you also save $50,000 in 4 years. So like, hey, like, like if it takes you 2 years to learn how to code, and it sounds to me like you saved 2 years of your life and $50,000. So yeah, is it harder to jump over those walls? Sure, but when you look at all things being equal, maybe you came out ahead. Later on, you go back for the degree once you have the experience and get somebody else to pay for it. You know, so it's are there going to be? Yeah, I've lost jobs. I've had dude, I've had recruiters straight up tell me. I've had numerous recruiters tell me, "You're the most qualified candidate I've gotten for this role. You're perfect for it." And I'm going to go talk to them, but they keep telling me no to devs without bachelor's degrees. And they come back and say, I couldn't convince them. They just, they won't do it. So it exists. It's not the end of the world. It's part of the name of the game. But it is what it is. What is the scope of software testing? It depends on where you work, to be honest. Got it, Thank you very much for the motivation. My early days started from zero. Now I'm a Salesforce developer. Good for you, man. Yeah, I've heard the demand for Salesforce developments through the roof. You can make good money as a Salesforce dev. I have a non-CS related degree, economics. Do you think a master's would be good to get? I mean, a master's will always be good to get. Will it be the best use of your time is something entirely different. I'm not here sitting telling you a bachelor's is bad or a master's is bad or a PhD is bad. Nothing about those is bad. But are they worth your time and energy for what your goals are is really what you should be asking yourself. One second, I get a cup of water. Big boy, spike. DevOps is all about building pipelines and things like that. I hate DevOps. if you've ever been stuck, this is my stand. This is my oversimplification. At least I'm assuming this is my oversimplification of DevOps, but no one has corrected me of this. DevOps is like if you've ever had to deal with configuring Webpack from scratch and dealing with shit like that, DevOps is the equivalent of that. Like you're doing a bunch of configuration for code to go from one place to another. And there's some logic, but it's just very configuration heavy. And that's just soul crushing, at least in my stance. I've been doing IT for years and looking to change my career. What have you been doing in IT for 25 years, man? Were you doing like hardware stuff? Multani, I mean, I would just go start building and getting good. Server support, like, gotcha. Yeah, I read an article the other day that they think 90% of servers in 10 or 15 years are going to be autonomous. And I was like, I mean, I don't know. I have no idea. But like, I don't personally understand. So for those of you who don't know, I used to be a staff writer at a data center. I have a buddy who's worked at a lot of data centers. And for years I've been telling exactly what Steve just said here is to get out of that field and go into DevOps. That's like one of the weird transitions that you can have in DevOps, and you can make good money doing it. But it's one of the fields I'd be worried about in terms of our roles changing. So I randomly get weird boost of motivation. Hey, don't we all, man? How do you balance not being used by companies with not being an asshat? I think that's a very good question. One is I generally don't work overtime. I I mean, there's times where I do. There's times where, but I think in the year and a half plus I worked at my last organization, I worked maybe 20 hours overtime. I work a hard 40 hours, and that's all. Like the 40 hours people get out of me is more than the 40 hours you get out of somebody else. So typically, so I'm able to deliver more quicker and better. So I don't put chat software on my phone if I can avoid it. I take my vacations. Although I maxed out, dude. I got to check for like $6,000 for my PTO because I maxed out my PTO when I left. I was at the max. But this year's been kind of weird because I didn't have anyone go on vacation with, and there's the pandemic. So like I had all this PTO, and I would have preferred to use it because they tax it like a bonus. So I lost like half of it. But hey guys, hey, chill. Those are our neighbors that have been there for 2 years. Chill. But yeah, I always, and by the way, I've said like, hey, call me if you need me, and I'll be there. Because there ain't no mountain high, ain't no valley low to get me from answering my phone call. But there is a valley and a mountain that's very high and very low to have getting pinged every single time. So since I've started that, do you know how many? I started that 3 years ago. Do you know how many times I've gotten a phone call? Anybody have a guess? In 3 years, how many times I've got a phone call? 0. 0 times have I gotten a phone call in 3 years. You know why? Because you have to be so much more direct with the phone call, because now you're not passively. It's very passive to have a Teams message or something like that pop up and ping you and things like that. Have an email fire off saying I need something. It's very active to have to talk to somebody and get a response in the moment from that person and interrupt their life. So, but yeah, so that's been something that I think has helped me. And also, you have to, so not living paycheck to paycheck is another fantastic thing. So why is that important? Well, boys, together. Boise, come on, out. Is once you realize that the worst an employer can do for you is fire you, and I'm not saying this isn't a bad thing, but truly the worst thing they can do to you is fire you, assuming you're not doing anything illegal, right? And I'm not saying like you're trying to get fired, but there's a piece of that understanding of, am I doing my job? Yes. Am I doing it well? Yes. Am I working a full 40 hours? Yes. Great. What's the worst they can do to me? They can fire me. Are they going to? Probably not. So, like, it is not like you don't do a good job or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if you have your finances under control and like you're not living paycheck to paycheck and you're comfortable, you have your life together, the realization that the worst thing that can happen to you, the most scary thing that can happen to you, isn't that scary. And so that's why I think it's always important to live below your means, save, invest, do all these sorts of things, because it gives you options. In this specific example, the option is lower stress, better mental health, being able to enjoy life. Like, these are all important things. Is C# a good career path if you want to do if you want to build back-end services? It's a fantastic career path. Looking at a tutor, the only problem is forking out the money. Yeah, tutor's gonna be expensive. You can hire me, but I'm expensive too. So I cost you $150 an hour. Blazer's picking up a bit as well. Dude, stop talking to me about Blazor. I'm gonna do a whole video dumping on Blazor pretty soon. I really am. Right now I charge $150, but I probably should up it to $250. To be honest. It's always been a multiple of my hourly rate, and my hourly rate's gone much higher in recent, but it's probably closer to 300 to be honest, but I'm not going to get anybody. I don't get that many nowadays for 150, so I haven't really upped it. But yeah, dude, don't get me started on Blazor. C# devs don't want to work in the front end. I keep saying that, man. Yeah, okay. I've been hearing about Blazor picking up for years. For years, dude. 3 jobs ago, and a year into that job, they were talking about Blazor is going to be the next big thing, blah, blah, blah. C# devs don't want to work in the front end. Let me say that again. C# devs do not want to work in the front end. There is not a demand. It's not even the JavaScript. It's the CSS. Backend developers do not want to deal with CSS. They do not want to deal with the complexities of the front end. The fact of the matter is that the front end's complexity is larger than that of a typical backend. There are more moving parts. It's expanding much faster. There are more considerations and browser compatibilities. There's a lot more complexity in the front end that historically traditional software engineers and backend engineers have sort of dumpstered on. But the truth of the matter is they don't want to work in the front end. It is the classic Silicon Valley solution for a problem that doesn't exist. Would it be better that they could do C# in the front? Sure. Do they want to work in the front end? No, they do not want to work in the front end. I keep saying this, man, and saying this. Yeah. I am currently working remote, yes. But yeah, Michael, if you want to hire me as a tutor, we do an hour or 2 a week. We could probably set something up, man, where it's gonna be pricey no matter what. I'll be honest with you, but maybe I can give you a discount if we book a couple hours. We can do like maybe a 10-week, 1 hour a week, or 10-week, 2 hours a week sort of thing. And I could help you build a project, do a code review or something like that. But something to think about if you're actually interested. Yeah, man. I don't know, man. I've lived the majority of my life not having an emergency fund, not having my finances together. And the second I got a quote unquote real job, or like a job where I wasn't making poverty wages, that was the first thing I did, was pay off my debt, save money, get my shit together. And my lifestyle definitely has inflated, but not as much as it should have by most people's standards. Good for you, Paul. I don't really care what computer operating system you use as a developer. Some other C# dev YouTubers, code founders seems to be obsessed by Blazor. There you go. You got 4 dudes that are probably obsessed about Blazor. I mean, so Michael, my thoughts about building a mobile app is present React Native, Flutter, or a progressive web app to the people who are currently interested, and see what their thoughts are. That'd be my sense. Yeah. I'm with you, Paul, man. The first thing I did is eliminate my debt. That debt carries it around with you, man. It's stressful. Why would you want to have money coming out of your paycheck every month? Like, just take the short-term loss for the long-term stress gain. I don't even like having a mortgage, man. I'll be honest with you. That's my goal by the end of this year. I don't know if I'll be able to do it, but I'll get damn close. If I'm smart and I work hard. I really don't like having a mortgage. I don't like having any debt, even a mortgage, man. Yeah, man. It's like, by the way, I've gone into debt. I've done all the same things that a lot of people do. But like, after a couple of years of that, I'm like, dude, this sucks. Like, it sucks getting my paycheck and knowing that it's already spent. It sucks not having any money in the bank. It sucks not having it sucks feeling like I'm going to work till the day I die. So, yeah, man. I got some financial sense kicked into me by making poor decisions. And I encourage you to do the same, because it'll change your when you don't have to do the bills anymore. I remember having to juggle my checks and do the bills. This is the rent check, and then this is the food check, and this is this check, and this if I don't pay this tomorrow, and then I pay this next day, and everything's on auto pay. That eliminates stress out of my life. Auto pay. How many of you know the pleasure of auto pay? Do you know the pleasure of auto pay? Truly. How many have all the bills on auto pay right now? It's a different world out there. I'll be honest with you. The auto pay world is a fantastic world where you're not worried about you're not worried about the about having to have money. Dude, I'm telling you, auto pay. You got all the bills on auto pay. Are you the kind of person that says no to 401ks? Because people keep telling me not to put a bunch into it, but if I get hired at the company I want after that, they interview, they match 50% up to 10K. So, Michael, okay. So, first thing I would tell you this: if you want my financial advice, not a financial advisor, not a financial advisor, not a financial advice. This is my financial advice: is put in up to the match. So they probably match up to a percentage of your income, like 3 or 4% or something. Put up to the match. Pay off all your debt. If all your debt's paid off, you have one or two things to do. You can either go up to 15% of your income or maxing out your 401k, whichever is higher. Or save for a house if you think you're going to do that. Now, if you're early on in your career and, you're concerned that like you're going to be jumping around a lot, that's okay. What I would do then is I would just put money into but you want to buy a house like maybe 3, 4, 5 years down the road. Just invest money into like a S&P 500 ETF where you're going to get like maybe an 8 to 10% return, nothing crazy. Reinvest your dividends and something a little easier. You'll pay some capital gains. But I'm a big believer in maxing out your 401k. I just started this last year maxing out my 401k because that's going to be the number one way you build wealth long term, and you have a good retirement. But paying off your debt and saving 20% so you don't pay private mortgage insurance in a home is my advice to you. Not a financial advisor, not a financial advisor, not a financial advisor. Every point of view in this video is my own and does not represent my employer. Legal disclaimers out of the way. Have I ever thought about going into politics? I have, oddly enough. Not anytime soon, but there are two things that I'm considering as I become elderly. One is running for mayor in some sort of town that I'm living in that I plan on setting roots down. Because I think I have some ideas that could do good. And to be a teacher. So I have no interest in doing it right now, but it has crossed my mind. How long did it take me to get YouTube before I got monetized? I don't know, 3 months maybe. Gator for mayor. Getting it printed on t-shirts. Boise can be the what would Boise be? She'd be the Secretary of Defense. The Chambers of Commerce. Huh, baby girl. Nothing slipped by you. A whole force of sales. A tsunami of sales. Salesforce is, and I say this as a developer who hasn't worked in it, a framework and platform to manage the commerce aspect and statistics of your business. That's my understanding of Salesforce. Let's see what if I type in Salesforce, what the description is. It provides a customer relationship management service and also sells a complementary suite of enterprise applications. There you go. I knew it. Yeah, it's one way to gather data on your customers and deal and manage with your customers. And then they offer a bunch of services alongside that, like anything else. Didn't they just buy Slack or something? Dude, I wouldn't disrespect Salesforce. What's Salesforce market cap? $200 billion. Dude, why don't we buy Salesforce, man? 5 years ago. If you bought Salesforce in 2004 for $4 a share, it peaked at 250 or so. Jesus. I mean, you can learn jQuery and Bootstrap in a weekend, not in depth, just understand what they do and the point of it. What will be the next course you're preparing? Where I just launched the clean code course on Scrimba. And the next one coming out is also on Scrimba. It's called Introduction to Unit Testing. I submitted some more course ideas to these guys, so we'll see what happens there. But I'm hoping to do a quick little course on Markdown, and we can do a cool README project for them to add to their front end projects. We'll see. I don't know what my next individual course is going to be. I like to do one course a year. But I haven't got around to coming up with a good one quite yet. If I had to switch out a front end, where would I go? I mean, I'm a web developer through and through, but you know where I might go, as crazy as it sounds? I think I could kill it in QA. I think I could be a monster in QA. If I could go and they just let me take over the integration test suite and they let me be a testing manager, I think I'd be a force to be reckoned with. I I don't know if you've ever heard anyone talk about QA with such passion, but I think I'd kill it, dude. I really do. That'd probably be where I go. Anyhow, guys, that's our live stream. We've been going about an hour. QA is a lot more than automated test suites. Listen, that's all you're gonna need when you're working with the chosen QA one. I don't know, man. It's I probably wouldn't go into QA. That's the wrong mouse. I was clicking my work mouse. But that's something I'd consider. Probably I'd just go into backend development. That'd probably be more realistic. I've thought about DevOps. I've also thought about in the past going when it's super hot, going into what do you call it? Word I'm looking for is cryptocurrency development, like Ethereum contracts, things like that. So with that being all said, guys, like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Help me hit that 100,000. I want my silver play button. I want it now. And if you're interested in my courses, there are links down below. See you guys next time. Look forward to tomorrow's video. What is tomorrow's video on? I don't even remember. I know I have a video coming out. Oh, the 100 algorithm challenge course testing update. So, for those of you who don't know, the 100 algorithm challenge, speaking of buying some of my courses, I just added 100 additional unit tests to it so that you can test your algorithms with unit testing and just. So, massive update to the course. So, see you guys next time.